All right, so I told some of you I'm going to do a video on this. I'm just going to give you a quickie on my way out the door, actually. But today I messed with it a little bit, and it's just sitting there looking like crazy. But this is the rear caliper off the motorcycle. That's the two fronts. Think about making a bracket for the top and for the bottom, just because, you know, it'd be a killer brake to jam and it stopped the one rotor, you know what I mean? But either way, here's a go-kart we're working on. There's the motor mounts. I made everything you see in bare metal here. Made all this, made that, made that. This and the bushing here are off a Chevy Chevy shackle lowering kit. These are Harley Davidson strut shocks. I think there's either I need to get a brand new pair or I'm gonna have to get something different because they're not, I think they're bottoming out. This is a 1000 motor off of a Suzuki strom. I got the whole harness, everything. So another, again, motor mount I built from scratch. Control arms I built. Everything I built. My welds aren't perfect, but they're getting there. I'm getting pretty good. Over time, anybody's going to get good at it if you keep doing it. Don't give up. Keep trying. Got pillow block bearings upgraded. If you see in here, I welded 2 nuts to a plate, slid it in there, and then the bolt right here goes through the hole in the tubing, grabs that. Here's my pride and joy. Anyway, now here we go. So we got a cross beam here that we welded. It's pretty welded. I think I got to flip it over. Now I welded underneath there. Must have flipped it over. I didn't weld that side yet, but we're getting there. Welded this. The next thing, first I welded this. If you notice, the motor is just sitting really. If you notice, I'm going to drill through them, one on each side, and I'm going to actually put a long bolt nut. Because if I ever got to take this apart for, I don't know, anything, I want to be able to get the motor out easy. And with them two welded on, the motor is kind of jammed in. I mean, I imagine I could sneak it out. Probably could sneak it out the bottom, no problem. If I took off the control arms or something. But I don't know. We'll see. If it doesn't hold up like that, if it starts to move, I'll weld them on, and then I'll figure out everything else out later. Here's my custom-made tensioner. Slide at this bad boy. It's got a motorcycle wheel roller. Still working on this right here. I have another one of these somewhere. I gotta find it. I'm gonna have to either put a wheel on this end also, or I'm gonna get the other one and I'm gonna stick that against here and cut this flush so the bolt goes right here. Only because the chain seems like it might hit there. But as you know, as I tighten this big old bolt, it pulls the chain. And the only reason we're using this kind of a tensioner is because of the setup on this sprocket here. If it went straight up, it would hit this, and it can't do that. So we're going to tension it away from that. We're going to use the speed sensor and everything. But there's my little project that we got going. Right now it looks like a mess. This is my baby Marquette I use for everything. There's the exhaust. Got a lot of little odds and ends to fix on it and to figure out. There's the back rack. It might go back on, it might not. So there it is. There's my 1000 build. And I really wanted it to stay a 2-seater. The last one I built, we put the motor in a passenger seat. It was awesome, but it just wasn't, I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't fun. It was great fun, but it wasn't as fun because I couldn't have a second person in it. We're going to use all the cluster and everything, the whole wire harness off the motorcycle. I'm going to get some nice headlights off something and stick them on here and have them hooked to the motorcycle harness. We're going to have brake lights. We're going to have a horn. We're going to have everything you can have. And once it's 100% running and everything works, I'm going to rip it apart, sandblast it, and put it back together. You see, I heated these and wrapped the frame and put this in here. And I put a little gusset in here, notched up in there on both sides. I don't think that's going anywhere. But then again, a 1000 got a lot of torque, especially a strom motor. So there it is. Hopefully you guys stick around and get to see the finished product. I'm going to put a video together of a bunch of pictures up to now because I was taking pictures because my camera wasn't working. So thanks a lot. Here's my madness mini bike I built. It's got a 318 cc snowblower motor with a torque converter. It strolls. I got a video on here of me messing around with it. But have a nice one.